So in the last lesson, you have exercised a little bit on prompt creation. And now we are gonna go to a more advanced version of prompts. So basically we are talking about how to create advanced prompts with one amazing feature, which is called Act As. And in this lesson, we will regard the strategy of prompt creation with Act As, and you will understand the power of this. And you will see how actually the quality of your responses differs, because you can enter any prompt and you will get answer anyways from ChatGPT. But if you refine your prompt appropriately, then you can get a high quality response. And that's actually is our purpose for today. So with Act As, we are gonna ask ChatGPT to assume different roles, and then you'll see how it drastically changes the output quality. So let's survey the famous poem, The Song of Hiawatha. This is a poem by Henry Longfellow about indigenous Americans. And let's ask ChatGPT to act in 3 roles actually. As an 8th grade student, as an editor-in-chief, and as a social media influencer. So first let's go to ChatGPT. I'll use 3.5 version as usual. It's completely enough for that. So now you see the interface. You're already familiar with its interface. And then let's just write the first prompt. The first prompt will be a simple one. You just write me an essay on the Song of Hiawatha. So you see, amazing, right? So the speed is just amazing. So now we have 7-paragraph essay. So, and it was just ready in less than a minute. Alright, so basically we can quickly go through it. The Song of Hiawatha, by who? So the story of a titular character and the warrior, vivid imagery. So it was inspired by Finnish epic poem Kalevala. Alright, so all this information that is known, we are familiar with it, but now it's put just in one essay and pretty quickly. So literary merits and then conclusion. So it's like a usual essay, but we can actually tweak it to the purpose that actually we want. Act as if you were an 8th grade student. So for example, if you're a student and you want to write an essay in a certain style, then we can give this prompt and let's see. So pay attention to this now. Hey everyone, and so on. Have you ever heard about Song of Hiawatha? The poem is filled with amazing adventures. What is really neat about it is how it's written. Oh, and the description. So you see that the narration is actually quite different from what we get in our previous prompt. Because previous response was very formal, right? So now it's quite informal. A cool poem. And that's actually how we can change the narration of actually the response. Also pay attention to that. In the second prompt, I didn't ask Chat to write an essay on the Song of Hiawatha, right? Because Chat actually remembers the context. So it was enough just to ask him once, and then you get this result. Let's try to change the role. What if I didn't like it actually? I can also ask Chat to write the essay in this style. Let's say I'm an editor-in-chief of the famous magazine, let's say Forbes magazine. And then let's see what will happen. The response is generated, and you see now the style is very different from the previous style. A critical examination. So now it's actually ChatGPT recognizes what kind of it. So it's, if I didn't like it, then maybe I'm gonna criticize it. And then add the editor-in-chief and for Forbes magazine, maybe that's not needed, but that's fine. Remember that you can always refine your text just by yourself after you got it, but it's much faster other than to create it from scratch. First and foremost, so it's pretty formal expressions, criticized, romantized, literary merit, centric perspective. So this is the language actually of literature critique, right? Shortcomings, so disadvantages, and then conclusion. So the style of this response resembles actually our very first style, where we just didn't assign any role for Chat. But now it's more specific, so it looks like more professional. And so Now let's assume the role of, let's say, Facebook influencer. I'll just say use as much slang as possible. And let's see what we'll get now. Alright, see. Hey fam, so I just gotta spill the tea. So informal, pretty funny language. Don't get me wrong, but the way he portrays the Americans, it's actually a shorter response, because maybe it doesn't need so much text and so much formal text like it was in the previous response. So bottom line instead of conclusion, so in simpler words, and then emoji and then hashtags. So that's actually about it. So now you can see how actually it's amazing to assign the roles for ChatGPT and then see what actually it answers. So you can try yourself. You'll have a home assignment, and then we'll continue in the next lesson.